everybody, and welcome to This is the Microwave that is currently microwaving my hamster. My name is Simone, and this is George, and this is where we watch movies and television.
Hamster?
If you know, you know. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah. Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Or the way that the title is splashed across the poster, I suppose I should say, Citizen Kane! As it spins towards the camera.
Oh my god.
It's terrific. Everybody's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it. When did this come out? 1941.
41, yeah. I guess this might be one of our more, our most going in blind films, possibly, because
well, I can't even make any guesses. Yeah, because the poster, it's about two girls and a guy.
Yeah, there's no clues on the poster.
Yeah.
And it's
No
from an era that
taglines.
we're both the least familiar with, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's the fact that it's so far away and so far in the past.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I guess let's watch this.
yeah. Before we press play, it would be super duper great if you would like and subscribe. Spooky castle house. Wait. It's like a golf course,
Yeah.
but it's like a rundown.
Castle on a hill behind a closed gate and fence. Oh, it is this.
Whoa.
Okay.
Rosebud.
That is the thing that I've seen referenced a million times.
I only know Rosebud from The Sims. It's like the money cheat. Or it was when I was little.
Which I guess is a reference to this, probably. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the snow globe rosebud. Okay. And he's dead. Okay.
Youth,
Whoa.
on the march! Kubla Khan decreed his stately pleasure dome. Private Mountain was commissioned and successfully built.
Private Mountain.
The biggest private zoo since Noah. Costliest monument a man has built to himself.
Good lord. Okay.
Biggest, strangest funeral.
Yeah, what is it about Eye of a Needle?
Xanadu's landlord was laid to rest. Charles Foster Kane.
So it begins with him dying. So greatest newspaper tycoon.
An empire upon an empire. Factories, forests. Mary Kane was left a supposedly worthless
It
deed.
was her wish that I should take charge of this boy. Mr. Charles Foster Kane is, in fact, nothing more or less than a communist.
He is today what he has always been, a fascist.
Won the election to one American president at least.
This is not what I thought the movie's gonna be.
No.
First year of the Great Depression, Kane paper closes. 11 Kane papers merged.
We're just recounting his life. Is
Yeah.
that the whole movie?
How did you find business conditions in Europe?
With great difficulty.
What do you think of the chances for war in Europe?
They're too intelligent to embark on a project which would mean the end of civilization.
Yikes.
Alone in his never finished, already decaying pleasure palace, then death came to Charles Foster Kane.
Oh, right. I forgot. It started as a newsreel.
Right.
70 years in a man's life.
That's a lot to try to get into a newsreel. What were the last words he said on Earth?
Rosebud.
You don't read the papers.
It's so interesting that all their faces are in shadow.
He's got something on his mind called Rosebud. Get in touch with everybody that ever knew him.
I love the way they talk. This is
Yeah.
what I imagine old movie talking was like.
Ooh.
So far, every old movie we've watched, I'm slightly disappointed that they didn't talk like this. And then here it is, finally. Everybody talks a bit like this. It's got that cadence. And
This is Mr. Thompson, Miss Alexander. You have something, Mr. Thompson?
I'll have a highball, please. I thought maybe we could have a talk together.
Well, think again. Get out!
Yikes.
Sorry.
I mean, sort of understandable. Her, ex-husband, but still died, so.
Cortland, 79970. This is Atlantic City 46827.
Till he died, she'd just as soon talk about Mr. Kane as about any.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Ralston? She won't talk. The second Mrs. Kane.
look at these shots. Like 3 depths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see everybody that's still alive. Goodbye, Mr. Ralston.
Did you ever say anything about Rosebud?
Rosebud? She never heard of Rosebud.
The lighting is crazy.
Yeah.
Mr. Thompson, you will be required to leave this room at 4:30 prompt. Pages 83 to 142.
The framing for so many scenes so far is like, it's very kind of efficient in that you don't need to cut to anything. You can have the entire dialogue conversation scene played out in just actor positioning.
Yeah.
The frame covers enough.
Oh.
Oh, I think The Simpsons may have spoiled this whole movie for me now. It's just clicking in.
I'll sign those papers now, Mr. Thatcher.
That property is just as much my property as anybody's. I don't hold with signing my boy away to any bankers.
Where do I sign, Mr. Thatcher?
Right here, Mrs. Kane.
Mary, why I can't raise my own boy.
Yeah, like these setups are so efficient.
Go on, Mr. Thatcher.
Well,
I've got his trunk all packed.
Wow, this
Jeez.
she's like dead on the inside.
Yeah.
Mr. Thatcher's going to take you on a trip with him tonight.
Where am I going?
you're going to see Chicago.
Why aren't you coming with us, Mom?
We have to stay here, Charles.
Me and her decided this ain't the place for you to grow up in.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, he looked really lonely at the end there.
'Cause, yeah.
Almost hurt me. Sorry.
Oh, this is the sled.
Oh!
Isn't it?
And that's the guy. Okay.
What that kid needs is a good thrashing.
He's going to be brought up where you can't get at him.
Oh.
Ooh, interesting. I thought that
Maybe we misjudged the mom, yeah.
I think so, because at the beginning it sounded like the dad wanted the kid around, but then it's
Yeah.
Whew.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So complete independence from the firm of Thatcher and Company. One item on your list intrigues me, the New York Inquirer. I think it would be fun to run a newspaper.
Oh, Jesus. Staring right at us.
Yeah.
Inquirer wins slum fight. Is that really your idea of how to run a newspaper?
Read the cable.
Girls delightful in Cuba, stop.
There is no war in Cuba.
I'll provide the war.
This Inquirer campaign against the Public Transit Company.
This is so much.
Yeah. They're so fast.
I sympathize with you. Charles Foster Kane is a scoundrel.
If I don't look after the interests of the underprivileged, maybe somebody else will. I did lose $1 million last year. I expect to lose $1 million this year. I'll have to close this place in 60 years.
Wow. Okay, in the
I'm gonna do the
winter
inflation math
of 1929. Okay.
Let me sign it and I'll go home.
There's so much time jump.
Yeah.
This depression, temporary, never made a single investment.
I always gagged on that silver spoon. If I hadn't been very rich, I might have been a really great man.
What would you like to have been?
Everything you hate.
Oh, I like their dynamic.
Did you find what you were looking for?
No. Your name is Jennings, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, everybody.
Almost every setup has been 3 layers.
Time. What do you want to know?
Something in the
Well,
distance.
Mr. Bernstein, we thought maybe...
A fella will remember a lot of things you wouldn't think he'd remember. Who else have you been to see?
I went down to Atlantic City. I'm going down to see her again in a couple of days.
It wasn't money he wanted. You know who you ought to see? Mr. Leland.
It's such a cool structure of a story where, like, it's about a character that we only get to hear what everyone else says about them. Him. I mean, aside from these flashbacks, I guess.
But it's still through somebody who knew him telling this story.
Yeah. He's that mysterious that we don't even get to know the real.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Kane.
Mr. Carter, but this is Mr. Leland.
How do you do, Mr. Leland?
Oh.
This is Mr. Bernstein. Mr. Bernstein is my general manager.
Oh, this is chaos.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Live here?
That's right, Mr.
Yes.
Carter. Excuse me.
I'm no good as a cartoonist.
Oh my god, look at his hair, the old guy.
Oh, that
so
poor
disheveled.
guy.
There's something I've got to get into this paper besides pictures and print. Got it all written out. Declaration of Principles. With a daily paper that will tell all the news honestly. No special interests are going to be allowed to interfere with that truth. Here's an editorial, Sally. I want you to run it in a box on the front page.
When you're through with that, I'd like to have it back.
You know how long it took the Chronicle to get that staff together?
I got my candy. All of it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
This movie is so like high energy.
Yeah.
There's so many things happening.
I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Who loves to smoke? Enjoys your joke.
Oh man, I want a song like this about us. This movie proves that the statement older films have slower pace to be false. It's, or maybe this is the odd one out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like and talking over everybody, and and it's so fast.
It's not fast in editing. It's fast in speech.
Yes, you can see him dancing so clearly.
Yeah, it's also, I think that's the other thing, is that every shot, every frame is so busy.
Yeah,
like he fills everything with something going on.
He wants to buy the world's biggest diamond. He's collecting somebody that's collecting diamonds.
Is this the first wife?
I guess.
I've got a little social announcement. I'm sorry. I can't accept it. No.
What's going on?
The engagement of Emily Monroe Norton to Mr. Charles Foster Kane.
Oh, okay.
So I was
That's
right.
why he was...
It was the...
Yeah.
But he acted
it
so
looked
funny.
Like he really... Yeah, it looked like he really needed to go to the bathroom. That's what it looked like.
Got the same thing.
She'll be a president's wife.
Oh, but we know how this is going to turn.
Mm-hmm.
It ended. And there was Susie. That ended, too. Mr. Kane was a man who lost almost everything he had.
I can remember absolutely everything, young man. Not that Charlie was ever brutal. He just did brutal things. He had some private sort of greatness, but he kept it to himself. I can tell you about Emily. I went to dancing school with Emily. He and Charlie didn't see much of each other except at breakfast.
I absolutely adore you.
Do you know how long you kept me waiting last night? Sometimes I think I'd prefer a rival of flesh and blood.
Okay. Yeah.
I simply can't have it in the nursery.
Wow, his expression just keeps changing to worse and worse.
Well, hers too. It's like they're slowly turning into just hating each other.
Yep. Don't even talk anymore. Okay.
Wasn't he ever in love with her? He married for love. That's all he really wanted out of life was love. He just didn't have any to give. How about his second wife? He was a cross-section of the American public.
I have a question. The movie opened with him dying alone. How did anyone know his last words were Rosebud?
The nurse, maybe?
But she came in after he, like, dropped the snow globe.
What are you laughing at, young lady? You've got a toothache.
And he got splashed with a carriage? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Or a car or something?
Said if you wanted some hot water, could get you some.
Jesus, she had to ask like that.
You need is get your mind off it.
No. Okay.
I'm wiggling both my ears at the same time. The fellow who taught it to me is now the president of Venezuela.
Oh, is it a giraffe?
No, it's not a giraffe.
Oh, I bet it is.
Oh boy, different times.
I run a couple of newspapers. What do you do?
Me? I wanted to be a singer, I guess. My voice isn't that kind.
Would you sing for me?
Oh, you wouldn't want to hear me sing.
Don't tell me your toothache is still bothering you.
Oh, no, that's all gone. I have sworn it.
The dialogue in this, they all the characters, like, even when they're just two people conversing, they talk over each other in the last, like, syllable and the first syllable. They don't wait for the other person to finish and take a breath. It just goes right over each other.
Yeah.
And it really adds to, like, the speed.
Complete control of the government of this state. Now I can afford to make some promises.
But we know that it falls apart because he was caught in a love nest. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, I think it's with the
I
singer.
make my best efforts in their interests.
Is Pop Governor yet?
Not yet, Junior.
That huge poster of him, or the banner of him behind him, I feel like I would be pretty unhappy about the double chin.
Hey, don't forget to check out our Patreon for these exclusives, and our merch link is in the description box below. And now back to the movie.
I thought we'd...
I'm sending Junior home in the car, Charles, with Oliver. I'm going to 185 West 74th Street.
Yikes.
Charlie.
Okay.
Charlie forced me to send your wife the letter.
I'm Jim Geddes.
I don't think I will postpone doing something about you until I'm elected. To start with, I think I'll break your neck. A cheap, crooked grafter.
We're talking now about what you are.
Charlie, if they publish the story, it'll
They won't. Good night, Mr. Geddes.
There's only one person in the world to decide what I'm going to do, and that's me.
You're making a bigger fool of yourself than I thought you would, Mr. Kane. Only you're going to need more than one lesson. You're going to get more than one lesson.
I'm no cheap, crooked politician!
Have you a car, Mrs. Kane?
Yes, thank you.
And there it is. Okay.
Is there anything...
No thanks, Mr. Bernstein.
Night, Mr. Kane.
Like, as we're watching this, I can see why this movie is so revered in the way it's filmed. It feels really modern.
I'm drunk.
In so many like setups and composition. Like
I've set back the sacred cause of reform. Is that it?
You don't care about anything except you. Charlie, I want you to let me work on the Chicago paper. What? There's nothing left for me to do but ask you to...
All right, you can go to Chicago.
His need for love on his term, that's from his childhood, isn't it?
Toast, Jedediah, to love on my terms.
Mr. Kane, I'm from the Inquirer.
That last scene there, from like the low angle upwards, I was gonna say, like, the other old movies that we've watched, the really old ones, it always feels like those movies are on a soundstage, because they were, but it reminds me of soundstage. So many of these don't, like in this movie, because you get to see the ceiling. Like that shot, it's just a building that they're in, probably, right? And like, it doesn't feel like we're just watching a movie set. Like, it makes me forget that it's a movie set, if that makes sense. The Opera House.
Yeah, this is chaos.
At least she can sing.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something else. I thought it was like,
Yeah.
do we even know if she can sing opera? She said she could sing opera.
Yeah, I was thinking what they're gonna... What's her name? Florence Foster Jenkins, I think? She's like a wealthy heiress, eccentric heiress who like cannot sing at all, but she was really wealthy and kept putting on shows and stuff. And like, it's... Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like she's not good. They did a little gesture there.
I guess, but like it's not as bad as recordings of Florence.
Mr. Kane. Mr. Kane. Hello, Mr.
Hello,
Mr. Kane.
This is... Where is he?
Right in there, Mr. Kane. Mr. Kane. They haven't spoken together for years.
He ain't been drinking before, Mr. Kane.
He's not dead. He's the older guy that is telling the story, right?
What's he written?
Yeah, he's just passed out.
Her singing happily is no concern of this department.
It represents a new low. I've got to finish my notice.
Mr. Kane is finishing it for you.
He's writing it in the way that he would have.
Yeah.
We saw it say weak.
Yeah. I think he's just picking up where he left off.
Mr. Kane is finishing your review just the way you started it.
Hello, Jedediah.
Is that two shots?
This here?
Yeah, because how could he, the Jedediah character, be in focus way back there, but he's in focus here?
Split lens, maybe? I don't remember what they're called, but it's like a lens that has two focal points with a split down the middle. That might be after this time, though. I'm not sure.
Thought that by finishing that notice, he could show me he was an honest man. Guess he was pretty lonely down there in that Coliseum all those years. He was disappointed in the world, so he built one of his own.
All this just to find out what Rosebud is.
Yeah, I'm so curious.
Okay. We're back to her.
Yeah.
Maybe I should never have sung for Charlie that first time I met him. Everything was his idea.
Some people can sing, some can't.
Please sit down and continue with the lesson.
But Mr. Kane.
Please.
Allora cominciamo, eh?
She doesn't even really want this, so it really is just for him. This is his ego.
It's all right, darling. Go ahead.
Oh, God.
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like the same story gets repeated shots of like the light and the thing and the hat and the...
But the context is completely different now that we know she
it's
doesn't
hers.
even
We're
want this.
looking at from her perspective. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Yep. Yeah, that's... Yeah, okay. Ooh.
Do you know the song "Actual Cannibal" Shia LaBeouf? You know, like and then it's Shia LaBeouf sitting in the audience or standing in the audience clapping.
Okay.
Is that from did they get that from this?
Well, I have no idea. Probably.
Okay, well, someone let me know.
You ought to have your head examined. You did send him a check for $25,000, didn't you? What's that?
Oh.
He was so proud of him then.
I never wanted to in the first place. You don't propose to have yourself made ridiculous. Why don't you let me alone?
My reasons satisfy me, Susan. You will continue with your singing.
Oof.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's turned into the people he despised at the beginning, right? And he just...
Oh God, I feel so sorry for her.
And all the audience, they know it's bad, but they're either sycophants or like, yeah, as to, I don't know.
Get Dr. Corey.
Is she sick or did she take something?
Can't imagine how Mrs. Kane came to make such a foolish mistake. The strain of preparing for the new opera has excited and confused her.
I'd like the nurse to be here, too. Good night, Mr. Kane.
Wow. In his pursuit to be loved and admired, he just drives everyone away and hurts everyone else.
I couldn't make you see how I felt, Charlie. You don't know what it means to know that a whole audience just doesn't want you.
That's when you've got to fight him. You won't have to fight him anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that really highlights. He will force his way, like, he will force people to love him if he has to.
Ugh.
Whereas normal people would be like, I'm not wanted here, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
What time is it?
11:30.
Night?
That place is huge.
Gee, 11:30. Shows are just getting out. A person could go crazy in this dump. Nobody to talk to. I'm lonesome.
You're just yesterday.
The echoing is like... Whew.
I'm tired of being a hostess. I want to have fun.
Just
Charlie,
walk right into the
please.
fireplace. That's so insane.
Don't care to visit New York.
Yep. Oh, that is a crazy looking puzzle, the pieces.
Yeah.
I've never seen one like that. They're like random and...
I've got a puzzle like that. It's so hard.
I thought we might have a picnic tomorrow, Susan.
Huh?
That's
He's
absurd.
so far away.
Who wants to sleep in tents when they got a nice room of their own?
Picnic with a band and everything.
Yeah.
Oh
Jeez.
yeah. So
Oh, sure, you give me things, but that don't mean anything to you.
We're in a tent, darling. You want it home.
You never really give me anything that belongs to you, that you care about. You just try to buy me into giving you something.
Susan!
You don't love me. You want me to love you.
she summarized it really well. You don't love me, you just want me to love you.
Tell Arnold I'm ready, Marie. Tell him he can get the bag.
You know that our guests, that everyone here will know about this. I won't let you go.
Goodbye, Charlie.
Please don't go. From now on, everything will be exactly the way you want it.
Way too late.
It's you that this is being done to. It's not me at all.
Yeah, get out of there. Oh my God.
In case you haven't heard how I lost all my money, and it was plenty, believe me.
We run a picture magazine, you know.
Yeah, I know.
All the same, I feel kind of sorry for Mr. Kane.
Well, what do you know? It's morning already.
Oh, jeez.
I tell you about Rosebud. How much is it worth to you?
Oh.
He acted kind of funny sometimes, you know?
No, I didn't.
In charge of the whole place. so I ought to know. I knew how to handle him, like the time his wife left him.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
The was that? That was a weird little injection there. Just.
Oh, that table is really pretty. Oh my God. Holy sh**.
That's. The snow globe.
Oh.
Rosebud.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah, some of these camera tricks are so crazy. Like, it's...
Yeah, how did they do that?
I mean, that's mirror facing mirror, right? That's why it's angled in so you don't see the camera, but like, it's...
But didn't it follow him through?
And that's what you know about
I don't
Rosebud?
know.
He just said, Rosebud. Didn't say anything after that, and I...
Oh, he was in the
knew it
room.
was bad. You can keep on asking questions if you want.
Allow yourself plenty of time. The train stops at the junction on 6th.
Holy sh**.
Jesus.
You better get going.
Quiet, Clarence, 1920.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that? Another Venus. $25,000.
Oh, clear, all right. He never threw anything away.
Value $2.
We were supposed to get everything, the junk as well as the art.
Hey, look, a jigsaw puzzle.
We got a lot of those.
Scott's Castle over there, but we haven't bothered to unwrap it yet.
What's Rosebud?
That's what he said when he died.
What did you find out about him, Jerry?
Not much, really.
He was lonely. No
Yeah.
one really liked him.
It's
He
so
was callous.
sad.
Yeah.
Mr. Kane was a man who got everything he wanted and then lost it. Anyway, it wouldn't have explained anything. No, I guess Rosebud is just a piece in a jigsaw puzzle. Come on, everybody.
Are we just not gonna find out what it means?
With a lot of crap.
Yeah, and in the end, like, none of it matters.
Mm-hmm. Very Ozymandias poem.
It's the bed frame that they brought into the newsroom.
He literally just kept every piece of garbage. Everything.
Whoa.
Throw that.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh my God. And that's why the snow globe reminds him of it, because of the snow.
Childhood. Okay.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
I kind of wish that Simpsons episode hadn't spoiled it for me, but
Oh, that
I guess
sucks.
I can't blame the show for a movie that's like, you know, nearly a century old. But
I guess.
yeah.
That's so it in the
It
Simpsons.
wasn't a
Rosebud
sled.
Was
it was Mr. Burns' teddy bear, but like
Oh.
the idea is the same, I guess. And I had a
Right.
feeling it was going to be something to do with childhood. So yeah.
Wow.
I've got his trunk all packed.
Oh.
Good job with the dead eyes. Look, Agnes. Like
Sentimental fella, aren't you?
Why are these kind of funny? Like
yeah, just new ways of doing it, I guess. It's a really fascinating kind of fake biography movie. I really like it. I like the way that it was told through other people's opinion about this like ultra eccentric lonely hermit billionaire or whatever. Yeah, that no one really knows. And at the end of the day, I guess it's forcing other people to love him because he couldn't square away with the childhood being ripped apart.
Well, the trauma of being like abandoned by your
sold, really.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, but I think, okay, so I think maybe we both had a little misunderstanding of that, right? Like, I think...
Well...
The dad is the bad parent, and the mom basically did the transaction to get him away from the father. Is that the idea?
I think that's what we learned at the end of the scene, but at the beginning of the scene, it really felt like the dad...
the mom was the cruel one, yeah.
Yeah, the mom was cold and like unfeeling, and the dad was like, I want my son to... Yeah, it was so weird.
But he was saying that in front of the stranger, whereas she was behaving cold more so for herself to be like, I gotta cut this cord. I gotta let him go. Because as soon as they went outside of the house and the kids start asking like, why aren't you coming with me, Mom? Why aren't you coming with me?
He doesn't care about his dad at all. No, he didn't.
Yeah, that made me go, okay, no, she's the good person in the two. Yeah, and he's the bad one. Otherwise, the child wouldn't want her to be around, wouldn't be curious why she isn't coming. But that being taken away, I guess, or maybe he felt betrayed by his mother or something along those lines. Whatever that psychological reasoning is, it f***ed him up his entire life, I guess. Made him, need to be loved at any measure necessary, even to the point of callousness.
Alrighty.
Trivia reel at 9 or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Audiences that watch Kane make his speech is in fact a still photo. To give the illusion of movement, hundreds of holes were pricked within with a pen and lights moved about behind it. Oh.
Eh? What?
Oh, that's cool.
Wait, in his speech? What speech?
Yeah, the audience around him when he was on the podium making the speech, his political speech.
Yeah.
With the big banner of his own face behind him.
Yeah.
That audience was just still images.
That's so crazy. I need to see that again.
And then they just poked holes in it and then like moved lights behind it to give it a sense of motion. William Randolph Hearst was so angered by the film that he accused Orson Welles of being a communist in order to keep the film from being released. And William Randolph Hearst was a great newspaper baron in the history of the United States, and is whom the movie Citizen Kane, widely regarded as the greatest film ever made, is primarily based on.
Oh my god.
Yikes, the photo of him on IMDb is
it's not good.
No, he's got that dead, like, soulless eyes.
Oh, no. That's a wrap on this episode of Cinebinge. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah, I would like to thank our patrons and shout out to Lily Chicken, Lenora, Kevin Bartellen, Kenny's back on the move, Ken Evanshik, Carl, JW Fuzzy, Justin Singri, John Zelinka, John Swan, Jody McGuffin, Jamunda 33A, Jasper Lambu, Jason, Hyperdrive, Herbert Go, Harry Fielson, Harold Wright, Gleeful Turtle, Eric McDaniel, Eric Gray, and Drew Atchison. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Bye.